Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, and to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Main show. Let's do this.
Feels
Yeah.
good. Be
Right.
back in the chamber of
Back in the
secrets.
old
Little
chairs.
cave,
I
little
mean,
bat cave.
whatever. Yeah,
I don't know
one
how
of those.
secret it
say.
really is, but we'll roll with it. We'll
You
roll
know,
with it.
I
So,
like it.
boys, what did we get up to this weekend?
I don't know, Dane. Do you want to go first since you're,
Shoot, my story is
or should we
short.
do a little house cleaning first?
I think,
Get some stuff out of the
I
way.
think this should. I think every episode should always start with house cleaning.
Well,
Okay.
I think when we
See, the
jump
problem is
straight
when I
in-
ask about house cleaning, then you guys suddenly clam up and I don't get anything,
No,
and then I have
Dane,
to
it's never
work it
happened,
out
not
of you
once.
guys.
Don't know
so
what you're talking about.
Literally
let's-
never happened
always,
once.
let's roll
always
with that.
Talked about stuff.
If you couldn't tell, we don't plan
told
this
you
stuff in
what we
advance
wanna do.
at all. It's on
so
the fly.
let me go ahead and get started.
Oh,
right?
please, Anthony.
So I'd like to say that we have several new products on the way.
The Color Lock brand is out.
It's available now, right?
Pick it up.
On top of everything else. So
Yep.
if you've been tuned out, right, or if you haven't checked out theragcompany.com or checked out our social media, then you know that we've launched several brands
Yep.
over the last few weeks, right? We've brought on G-Technic with their coating line, everything from CSL to XO to C4, C5, you name it. We brought that on with their supporting products as well. We brought on Color Lock, and the cool thing about Color Lock is we did a co-branded edition of all of their products
Yep.
for us, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool. I think that it was done exceptionally well. I think those guys have a really good eye for branding and packaging.
And they're fun guys.
And they're fun.
Yeah.
They're a total blast. So basically, we have now...
And then we also brought on Ragtop.
And we've also brought on Ragtop, and that was about, I think it was a little over a month ago. And
Yeah.
For people who weren't aware, so Ragtop is going to be a convertible and vinyl top care line. And so we've gotten questions of that over the years. And we've always kind of had to say, this product would work, but isn't ideal.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
having Ragtop there
And the
fills
one
that
thing that
void.
you and I always try to do, and one thing that we've pride ourselves on here at the Rag Company, is we go to the source.
Yes.
And we look for products that are designed specifically for certain applications. Now, people probably go, well, why'd you bring on Ragtop? Well, I don't get it. It's a
It's a
fabric
niche.
sealant or a vinyl sealant that you put on your convertible top. What makes it so special?
I've got these sealants over here and that sealant. And,
Right.
I got fabric stuff, so
Well,
I'm good.
The point is, all the convertible tops on almost every vehicle are manufactured by one company, Hartz.
Wow.
Now, the company that Hartz uses, so let's say, Dane, you bought yourself a new Jaguar convertible, an XKR convertible, right?
One day,
Add
see
it
me
to-
with
add
the
it to the
Sawzall in the
stable.
parking lot, and I have a convertible now.
Now,
All right.
the top on that Jaguar actually came from the Hartz company. They are the ones who manufactured the fabric.
Wow, very
The
interesting.
waterproofer that comes from that from the factory
yeah.
is Ragtop.
Wow.
I mean, that's,
Right?
that's
Let's
as
say you bought
good a
yourself
point as any.
a Honda Civic convertible,
Yeah, they don't have those.
or I got myself an Elantra convertible.
They also don't make those either.
Point is,
watch him try.
Point is, those convertible tops are manufactured by the Hartz Hartz company, and then the manufacturers like Honda, like Hyundai, perhaps the BMW,
Yeah.
our fallen friend Morgan McMurray.
Yeah.
Those tops are manufactured by one company. The fabric for those tops and the waterproofer that is added from the factory is Ragtop. So for you folks that have these cars and you want to keep that hydrophobic properties, we're just giving you a manufacturer's option. That's what Ragtop is. And that's what makes it so great. Color Lock is the same way. The Color Lock care products are designed and used within the factories of
Yeah.
Porsche, Volkswagen and Audi, BMW, and
Wow.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Like they use those products from the factory. So you know that they will stand the test of time. You know that they are perfectly safe and can work and last for a very long time. And so again, we're just trying to promote the best of the best as well as some of the top products that are out here in, that's one of the reasons we brought on G-Technic. They're a great brand.
Yeah.
And the products are really good. And
Yeah.
so, we're working on that with all of our, the stuff that Anthony and I do. We test products for a long time, but we also want to learn as much as we can about each one of those products and how they're used, how the brand works. And we also like to go into business with people that we like.
Yeah.
And all these guys are great guys.
And I think that for a lot of the viewers, a lot of customers, or just a lot of fans, right, they're probably like, holy crap, this seems like a lot, right, that you guys are bringing on. This is a lot, dropping at one time. Why are you guys pushing this stuff so hard? Well, here's how this all worked out. everything just happened to land around this time, right?
Yeah.
If we could have done a release 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and spread it out, all these brands,
over the course
we
of a
absolutely
year.
would have. It's just, this is quite literally where everything landed, right? G-Technic products we've been using for well over a year and a half and testing and using, and the launch just happened to land at this time. Same thing with the Color Lock stuff, with all the co-branding stuff and all the testing that we've done. That landed around this time. The ragtop situation also landed around this time. So it's not like we're sitting here, because I see some people could probably get the interpretation that they're like, oh, they have now reached the big company status and they're just bringing on anybody and everybody.
Chill, sell
And
out,
No,
insert
they're-
your favorite.
all one year.
It's not the
colloquialism here.
case at all whatsoever. As many people know, I mean, our Optimum line has gone from being pretty massive to pretty small from a manufacturer level from what they've actually cut from their line. So we've had to not eliminate, but we just didn't have access to a lot of these products anymore. So we had to find replacements and fill holes. And so
well, and the same with Wowos.
And the same with Wowos, yeah.
We've had
So-
a lot of issues just in getting product, and that's just normal around the. That's a company that we have to get from overseas, and it's just it's difficult. And so when product starts kind of disappearing on our end, we had already planned on bringing these other brands, so it was a very nice relief to go, whew, all right, we got some product. Thankfully, our friends at PNS have stayed very steady, but we've had some delay issues with like Iron Buster and
it's
some of the other products. Just there's the demand, we can't keep up. They can't keep up to supply us to supply you guys.
Yeah.
So we are trying to do our best to bring as many options to the table for all of our
Dane,
our
what do you have
folks.
to say about that?
What I have to say is I'm always concerned about how people are interpreting info and how they're thinking about it. I can just see someone out there thinking, oh, so now they're bringing in something that is lesser than, third string, subpart. It's like, no. Actually, when it comes to these companies we've been dealing with, there are a ton of companies we think make fantastic products. Do we carry their stuff in every case? No. But at the same time, we are very selective. You guys are so picky. I mean, when we talk about our year testing procedure and stuff, you guys aren't kidding. That's minimum.
Yeah.
In every case. There are some things you've been going at it for over a year, 2 years, where you're like, okay, I feel like we're making progress, but we're not quite there yet, and we're going to keep dialing it. If we ever choose to carry this, they will have to make these changes for us to feel comfortable promoting it or supporting it in any kind of really public capacity.
Well, you look at PNS. That was exactly 1 year to the day, and we only brought on a few products originally.
Like what? Literally
5, maybe.
I think it was less than. I think it was like 4.
But we had been testing Beadmaker specifically for 1 year.
Yeah.
Using it almost daily for a year before we sold it, and we only brought on a few of the products that you and I were comfortable with.
Yeah.
But it's taken us another 18 months to get through the rest of the line, and now we have the full double black lineup, and we've added some products from their lineup. Breakbuster, that was a professional line product for PNS. We asked them to put that in the double black lineup because that was one of those things. The new metal polish that's coming out, that's another thing. We asked, why is that not in the double black line? There's certain products that we've helped state like this is a good product and it'd be better if we could do it as a double black product. So we've worked at trying to get as many more products in a lineup as possible. Same reason when we brought in Wowos. We only brought in a select few because we had to show, we couldn't bring the whole lineup, but we had to show a certain amount. Now, with Color Lock, I remember sitting in like I said on Thursday, the Moxie in London while you guys were playing ping pong, talking to Lars going, and him saying, why aren't you guys selling my product? We've been friends for over a year,
Lars, that's
hanging
a great
out.
question because we really like your stuff.
Yeah, he was like, we've been literally like friends for almost 2 years. This is amazing, but like guys haven't brought on our stuff. I said, Lars, we got to test it for a year. Well, we tested it for a year, and now it's in our store. It's available. Ragtop is one of those. The Rick Goldstein. If any of you have met him or seen him at Mobile Tech, the guy's hilarious. Same thing. We've been chatting with him for years. The joke has always been, why doesn't the rag company go talk to Ragtop? Like, bah, ha, ha, ha. They always laugh about that. So all the old guys in the industry,
2G's,
it's a very
1G,
funny
big difference.
Funny dad joke kind of thing to them. So Jeff and I finally introduced ourselves and talked to him. We had a great time at SEMA and then saw him again at Mobile Tech and really spent some time figuring out what we needed to bring on. So the the point is we actually do our due diligence and we try and we want to get to know the people that we're going to be doing business with.
Yeah.
And in case with G-Technic, we've been you guys have seen it. We have documented video footage of all the stuff we've done with G-Technic
years ago
for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, going back further, if you count SEMA and the other things. I mean,
so you look at the stuff that we've been doing, and we are always actively working. And, we always have stuff. We still have stuff now in our hip pocket that we haven't talked about or haven't talked about releasing yet that you guys are just going to have to wait and see. But it's another one of those things that we've been working very hard on for a very long time on, and we're trying to do our best because we want to make sure that we're not just bringing every brand.
Yeah.
We want to bring on good brands, solid brands.
If we just become like a superstore where you can get literally anything and everything, then it's hard to determine like what the standouts are, what the things like that. We're picky for a reason because we feel like, okay, we can kind of narrow the choices down for people to what we feel. If you like to detail the way you guys like to detail, then you're going to have a good time. That's the idea.
Right.
It's like if you think in the way that perhaps Anthony thinks or Levi thinks, anything in our lineup should be a satisfying experience. Now, if you do detailing in a different way than either of these guys, can't promise it's going to be a perfect experience. But at the same time, just spend time watching our videos. You get to know how these guys operate. If that's appealing to you, then the products are going to work for you. That's the mission here.
Quick question, right? And just so people know, right? We don't want to have a whole lot of overlap, right?
True.
And so
redundancy is annoying.
I'm going to ask you guys a question really quick, right? How many wheel cleaners do we have at this point in time?
I think we only have 2.
Brakebuster,
Really?
Clean
3.
Wheels.
Tops,
right? So
Clean
Brakebuster and
Wheels,
Clean Wheels, right?
Brakebuster, Clean Wheels,
and that's it.
And then other products that you can
Okay.
use.
We've got
in
an
that
iron
fashion, they're not
remover.
officially that.
All right,
that
and
can be
then-
used as a wheel cleaner.
I know you could,
Yeah.
but
But
the point what I'm trying to get to is that we don't have a whole lot of overlap. How many SiO2 spray sealants do we have?
1.
Right.
Yes,
So we have 3 different shampoos at this point, but 3 different acting shampoos.
Yeah, they
right?
actually
one's
behave
different.
differently.
Each one is
so.
absolutely different.
Well, and if you look at like wheel cleaners, you go back to
Yeah.
Brakebuster and Clean Wheels, they're totally opposite ends of the pH spectrum.
Literally other ends of the
Yeah.
spectrum, yeah.
So they're not the same style cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Which is why one works well on tires while the other you don't put it on
we
tires.
still only have the one rinseless wash. Like I said, we have a couple different soaps. We have 2 different fallout removers at this point, and really it's just personal preference on which line you're choosing to go with. But the idea is that we don't want to overwhelm people because I think the second people have options, I think that's also when they start kind of losing the trust that they have within the products that we kind of guide them towards.
I think it's
right?
watered down.
Because then they think,
diluted.
okay, so they like both of these things now. Well, I thought it was easier when they said they just preferred this one and they had vetted this one, and this was kind of the idea. And that's why somebody like Matt, right, Mormon up of Obsessed
He
Garage,
takes that to another level.
is so successful because he tests out so many different things to pinpoint the exact product that he wants, that people know that he put in the time and effort, and people feel the same way about us. I just don't want to dilute that, and I don't want to lose that.
True.
And so I think that's why, in terms of chemical brands, kind of what you see right now is kind of what you're going to get for the foreseeable future. We might have something in our hip pocket, but other than that, though, we want to continue to grow these brands instead of growing, instead of continuing
and being selfish
True.
and just
instead
like
of
it's all
growing
about
everybody,
us and bring everything in. No.
because this is kind of the point that we've been wanting to get to for a while now. We've brought on WOWOs. We've had WOWOs for almost a year at this point. We've had Optimum for several years, PNS for several years. Well, Optimum actually for close to 6 years.
6 years.
6
yeah.
years.
It's kind of run over.
And so we've
originals.
had all these other brands that we've promoted and worked with and just had fantastic results with. But what we're going to be doing now is kind of taking what we currently have, expanding upon that, explaining it further, doing more.
Yeah, we're gonna go
doing
deeper.
doing more videos, doing
Yeah.
more things, and kind of educating along with the quality of our towels. So now that we've bored you to death,
No,
with-
actually,
with-
I think that's probably some of the most fascinating
So going
stuff
back
to
to
our
like
audience.
one things that I love about Color Lock is its simplicity.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize is it's actually maybe a total of like 5 products, right? 5 separate products.
I love that brush.
And not counting the brush. But we've got a strong cleaner, a mild cleaner, we have a sealant, and we have a conditioner.
It's pretty straightforward.
And then we have extras like the brush and the elephant preserver.
Yeah.
So those products are built into kits that can do so much. Mm-hmm. And you can buy these kits, and they're perfectly set. So you can buy them as a birthday present. You can get them as a Father's Day gift. You can get them as a Mother's Day gift. They will work on purses, leather purses, like one of your wife's purses.
Yeah.
They will work
leather,
on. They will work
They got it
on
covered.
leather shoes. Mm-hmm. They will work on leather furniture. Dane, that red couch of yours that you took as a trade in from your parents,
with the little sanding and a little bit of
you could,
man, they could.
Yeah, you could restore that couch.
You should watch the videos that these guys have done showing the before
But
and
the
after.
point
It's
is,
insane. What
these
they're able
products
to
are
do.
not just for your car seats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can use these everywhere. And that was one of the points of this, was to be able to create, we've got a shoe and sneaker cleaning kit, which is waterproofer and mild cleaner.
Well, and the
that
Red
you can
Company,
use on the shoes, and you can clean them. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, the Red Company isn't just a detailing supply company. That's the thing I think a lot
cleaning
of people
supply.
forget. Yes, our audience is probably 80 to 90% detailing focused, of course, because that's where the channel found its niche on YouTube. But we sell a lot of other products that work in tons of industries.
Yeah.
We cover everything from Jan Sand to hospitality to all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're covering a lot of bases. Detailing is probably the exciting part of it,
True.
no doubt. But hey, you got to clean some other things. There's a lot of good stuff out there too, and Color Lock's no different.
Yeah. So, point is, we just wanted to catch you all up. So, Dane, what'd you do this weekend?
Oh, well, I took a look in my yard, took a few pictures, went, oof. Then I showed you those pictures,
I will say, Dane showed us the pictures. We all said many expletives, and a lot of us had to, repent for our sins afterwards, because it was unholy.
There was an upside down cross in his backyard.
Pretty sure there
was.
was.
Pretty crazy.
Point is, we told Dane that we appreciated his courage and the fact
There's
that,
one picture.
Oh my gosh,
that's a corner. That is
okay. I was going to say before he put that we said to Dane, you do not have to show these pictures.
So I decided I was going to
anybody.
show this one picture without any reference to the house, because I just want to give a sense of, in the movie Jumanji, when the house is becoming overgrown.
Yes,
with, all
yes.
this stuff. That's essentially what happened in the backyard. That's more or less what you're looking at.
Now that is the hangout area, the fire pit.
Yes, that is a fire pit, which Gabe back in the day so helpfully constructed along with myself and my dad. I actually threw my back out lifting up one of those stone benches there. It weighs about 300 pounds for the top one. And
sounds expensive.
It messed me up.
Is there a hole in that chair right there, Dane?
Yes, that was an old chair when I got it, and it's worn out. So this is just to put in perspective. No, I don't have a garbage dump in my backyard. It's simply a lot of plants and a piece of
a lot of plants
furniture,
that have, not been
an outdoor
well-kept.
chair that has worn out itself, and it's going to the dump soon. But in the case of the yard, yes, it is overgrown. There are a lot of weeds, and it is a symptom of neglect. I am first person to tell you that. I have neglected my backyard. Now, the front, everything else, you wouldn't necessarily know it looks like that back there. Looking at the front of the house, I keep it clean, and and I wash the front of the house with the power washer and all that stuff. So it looks nice, but it is overwhelming when you reach a certain point. Now, I originally came to the house, it was a dirt patch back there, and I thought, I can put a yard or I can do these things. But what's weird is none of the windows on the house face this particular corner in the backyard, and it's a very large corner of the backyard. So, been throwing around some ideas. I've talked about expanding my garage before, potentially. But, doing a refi in the house and thinking it may be time to do an addition to the house. And, there's just something so satisfying about seeing all this crap wiped away and replaced with a big concrete slab and potentially more garage, something I actually want to maintain.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I've been thinking about it more, and originally we talked yesterday, we were like, if you're watching your budget, you don't have to go crazy. You can just knock out the back wall, maybe put a door on it, do some slide or something like that. Now I'm looking and I'm thinking, I actually have a lot more equity in the house than I initially thought, and the appraiser and the bank thought so too, so they're like, if you want more, you can get more. And I'm thinking, if I build onto the house, it's only going to make it more valuable. I got to be strategic about it, because you never want to be the nicest house on the block.
True, yeah.
But my house definitely
but you could stand
area.
to add another 500
But if
square
I
feet
add, say, another
living space,
500 square feet of covered garage area, like actually, and what I was thinking was kind of atrium style, have it like up with like an angle. So it's just triangle, open windows on the top, bringing light in from the sun side down into the garage, really dress this thing up. I could potentially do something really cool and then just have, instead of a garage door that, you know, powers up or down, maybe I could just have like folding panels
I like it.
and then have it go out to more concrete pad because I effing hate weeds. And I'll have it go out there and I can build almost like a courtyard back there. And then I can have very strategic planted areas that I can actually maintain that are not beyond my
Plants
ability.
in pots,
So
not
yes,
in the ground.
yeah, either put them in planters or in pots, or maybe just like a little designated like rectangle where I can just, okay, you can plant stuff here. This is the one spot that opens to the dirt, because I am so sick and tired of going out and just looking at it. And I took a machete out there this weekend and just went nuts and started whacking things down.
I like that.
There were trees that had started to grow that I'd never even seen. I was like, "Where'd you come from?" And next thing I know, it's
machete fighting back, right?
I mean, this isn't Evil Dead, but
weed machete.
Oh no!
So the point is, like, I know to a lot of people
be a TRC
that's
drawing,
horrifying,
that's
and
be
they
Dane fighting him.
They look at that
machete.
as like, "Oh my God, you're abusing your property." It's like, okay, it's in the back corner. There's no window in my house that faces that area. It is so easy, unless you go back there, to just not even think about it. It's not even there in your mind. But of course, then somebody goes, well, what about your backyard neighbor? Well, actually, my backyard neighbor has a massive tree that dumps half of everything into my yard. So maybe I don't necessarily feel the worst for him, but they got a lot of plants in the way anyway. It's perfectly fine view.
I just need to congratulate you on your strength of character.
I got to deal with it, man.
And for showing that picture when we told you yesterday you did not have to do that.
And I decided, you know what?
This was Dane on his
just
own.
Put
we
that
didn't
out there.
I said, you don't need to show anybody. Totally understand. You know.
But you know, I think that gives him a taste.
Send Dane a message.
Yeah.
Tell him good job.
Give him strength.
Let him know that you appreciate him showing you guys.
Anybody who knows me
that was hard to do. I'm impressed.
I never want anybody to get the wrong idea and think that, oh, we seem like lead a charmed life and we're all loaded or something. That's not true at all. We're regular
Anthony
people.
and I drive cars that are quite old.
And like my car, okay, it's cool and it looks fancy and classy and all that stuff. You look up anywhere online, everybody talks about how it's the most bang for your buck. I mean, and super reliable. I deliberately went for it because, hey, it's not expensive like the other things that look like it or sound like it or go like it. So, yes, even though it looks excessive, it is also still a budget-minded choice. And I like being different, so that was my option there. But I have a problem with having expensive taste. The things I want to do, I can't afford to do yet, so I want to hold off until I can and then eventually just like spring for that dream house or whatever. But until that happens, I'm really feeling like I'm going to stick in this house. And one way I can get myself to like be motivated, to want to stay in there, to really enjoy it, is expanding that garage, doing something that's like a little more modern style, mid-century style, build it up a little bit, and maybe like do a courtyard, because I am definitely like stuck in the Mad Men aesthetic in my head. It's all mid-century is what I love. So doing something like that and turning my yard into something like that while minimizing the amount of maintenance required would be a win-win, and that's what I'm really looking for. So hopefully I can achieve that. Maybe in the next year or two, we'll see how things go, but it's all going to depend on how this shakes out. First thing I got to do is just wipe out that whole back area, which may get easier as we get into fall or winter. But
true, once the weeds stop growing,
come next spring or something like that, and maybe construction going on in the house. We'll just have to see. But
so
that was
if anybody
mostly...
would like to come to Boise to do this construction, Dane Hennen is taking bids.
He is.
Come on down.
Well, as you guys know, I went to Rome once, right? And
True.
There was this beautiful feature called the Trevi Fountain, right? And so I'm thinking something similar to that in Dane's backyard.
He did already have a water feature in his backyard.
Yes.
That was a very minor little fountain we installed.
I would like to find a place to throw coins in his backyard.
I think you can do that anyway.
I've found a whole new variety of coins after cleaning a truck, and I'd like to throw those into a fountain.
Well, you can make some wishes.
So I want to come back to that truck in a little while when we talk about your stuff, because there's definitely some fun things to talk about there. But for the rest of my weekend, I after I surveyed the area and got my results back on the appraisal and all that stuff, things were good. Things are very good.
So good, you celebrated how?
So good, I celebrated by going outside thinking, I'm going to go and take a nice scenic drive and then go for a walk or a run or something. Just,
Run.
This,
Go.
yeah.
trying to get back in shape, and I'm starting keto again, so we're
Nice.
getting there. But the air quality was garbage, just terrible. You couldn't see the sun without seeing just like a weird orange orb in the sky. It was very, yeah. So at any rate, went out, breathed that air for about 5 minutes, and decided, no, that's probably not a good idea, especially with everything else going on out there. People with breathing issues, probably not great.
So what did you do instead?
So instead, I decided to go inside, ordered sushi, which not keto friendly, but hey, that's life
Live and
sometimes.
learn. Where'd you order from?
Sakana.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Delivered?
So no, picked it up.
Oh.
But then got home and decided I was gonna watch the original Police Story trilogy, the Jackie Chan movies from the '80s. Really, really fun.
So,
I believe there's a Mitsubishi Evo.
Oh, there's a lot of Mitsubishis in those, but it's so funny.
Celebrated by watching Jackie Chan movies.
There's just something about them that like really lifts the spirits.
Okay, all
and I hadn't watched when I was a kid, the first one of those I ever saw was the third one, Super Cop. But the first one, I hadn't seen that in so long. So I thought, it'd be fun, just go back and watch some old 80s movies, whatever. It'd be fun. I forgot how goofy and like funny they were. They were actually really, it's just fascinating when you're kind of like, oh, modern movies have all this, techno wizardry and stuff. But then you just go back and you watch old fashioned filmmaking and like, he really hurt himself there. Oh my God. And just all the things that happen. And it was so funny in the movie. They get to a certain point where Jackie does this insane stunt where he slides down like a string of lights. And then you read later, oh yeah, he electrocuted himself and all this horrible stuff that happened. Cut his hands, but he hung on to it because he knew if he let go, he'd probably die. So yeah, just doing that kind of stuff. And then you could tell the movie was so like, we have to include this. They showed the exact same scene from like 5 different angles in the movie, not like in a replay afterwards, but like instant replay in the movie, despite not replaying anything else in the movie. They're like, we have to use all the footage to make this worth it. We have to use this. So it was just funny to see, like, you could tell like the editor was going like, I feel really bad. But there's a scene in that that is really intense, but then there's also this part where they go through like a shanty town and they literally drive these cars down a hill and the whole like town explodes. It's ridiculous. If you look back at it, it's so comical.
It's a lot of practical effects, though.
When you think of like Fast and Furious Fast 5, when they're going through some of the districts, driving down the hills, like through the houses and stuff, it's literally that, but in Hong Kong instead. So it's just fascinating watching this stuff. But really fun watching those. And, that was a nice way to round out the time. And then I went from that to watching Zodiac, which I hadn't seen in years.
Yeah, that's a
so
good
I decided to watch Zodiac. So I was kind of binging for a while. And then, of course, because I watched Zodiac, I had to start watching Mindhunter. So then I got back into Mindhunter. But I did watch Lovecraft Country. Yeah. The first episode.
You watched the first episode?
I have not watched the second yet, but the first
Were you
episode.
on the edge of your seat?
I was loving it because I was like, oh, they're really getting weird with it. They're getting weird with it. I love this.
There's so much tension. It's beautiful.
It was
second episode. It's good.
Okay.
But it changes the direction.
Okay.
And now the third episode that comes out next weekend, I'm very curious to see where it goes because I was like,
so like tonally it's shifting.
It's pretty wild.
Okay. Yeah. Don't spoil anything.
I'm just
for
amazed
me,
at these last 2 episodes of the amount of stuff.
Yeah. Wow. No, it's like what they're packing in there. I to anybody who's even remotely like interested in that subject matter, watch it.
It's good.
Just watch it.
Dane, quick question for you. So who would win in a fight, a Thunderdome match, right? Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Bruce Lee is way up there. Jackie Chan is extremely creative. He uses his environment to fight those around him. So that's where I really, really like Jackie's. Jackie's an artist, but Jet Li is extremely focused. But Bruce Lee, man, the OG.
I think it's just Bruce Lee.
It's just Bruce, man.
I feel like Bruce could probably lay down a pretty good hit. I feel like Jet Li could
However,
take a good hit, right?
Thunderdome style, I think
Jackie
Master Blaster could still take all of them.
I think who?
The actual Thunderdome guy. Master Blaster with the little guy.
Master Blaster. And
that's true. Okay.
No, that's true. And no marks against Jean-Claude Van Damme. Love Bloodsport and all that stuff too. Yeah. But against those guys, man, he's outmatched, I think. But
Nice.
man, that's right. He's like into kickboxing and stuff too. So
Well, that's
there's
where
that
I
element.
think like somebody who's just not afraid to lay a kick to the face, right? I think
Yeah.
and how flexible
Or
John Claude
punch
Van
to the
Damme is.
face.
Like
Yeah.
I think,
Kick to the face.
yeah.
Now we're
Elbow
talking
to the
like
face.
each one of these guys in their prime though. So we're not
yeah, we're
talking like
talking
today we got that guy's dead and that guy's
But that's the other thing though too. I mean, Jackie Chan, right? Or not Jackie Chan, sorry, Bruce Lee, right? Obviously, he's everybody's favorite person ever, right? Everybody loves Bruce Lee, right?
I love Jackie.
My favorite though was in
much-
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah,
when
but
he
how
gets,
but
gets beat up
but
by.
how much
just
of-
thrown into that car.
how much of Bruce Lee,
So
right?
funny.
Do you think how much of Bruce Lee was acting versus actually knowing what he was doing? Like what percentage?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Because I think he could definitely kick some butt. But I mean, but also you have to think. But at that time, if he marketed himself as being a master, right, and a guy of the one kill punch. What does it call it? The
1-inch punch.
The 1-inch punch, right?
Yeah, the one where like it's a trope that followed in several movies where okay, I do this really elaborate type of hit and then you don't know, but a week later you just die, and that's what happens. But there's a lot of stuff like that. But I think Bruce is up there. Jet is obviously super focused and intense, but I feel like Jackie and Bruce could actually beat up on Jet, even though Jet's really talented.
Yeah, interesting.
We'll never
After
know.
watching Jackie, it just reminded me how much I like
I'm just
the
thinking
creativity
of Jet
that
Li
he
in
had.
The One. That was a pretty good
was a
one.
good one.
Jason Statham
Yeah.
also in that
Yeah.
movie, right?
Had some hair.
Yeah, he did have some hair. Odd. Yeah. So
Anyway, that was my weekend, so I just
Very
thought that
nice.
was fun.
Very
But
nice.
which one do you guys want to go next?
Well, I didn't do anything this weekend.
No, okay, we'll talk with you then.
I literally got home. I left here at like 4 o'clock on Friday. Hustled home. Filled up the tank on the old Ragnarok.
Yeah.
$1.33 a gallon. At Fred Meyer's using my Kroger points.
Wow,
that's
that's a good
Really
call.
great.
call.
Then grabbed some wood. Grabbed 6 bags of ice. Headed home.
Do you have a preference on wood? I typically like the hard ones.
I like hardwood as well.
Yeah.
So softwood's a little or fresh wood, I should say, isn't as good.
Yeah.
So
Wet wood.
We
wet
start
wood.
turning it and
Yeah.
it just keeps bending.
But so the wood now,
Dane.
I will say the
Yes,
wood that
it
I bought
does.
at Fred Meyer, right, in the
Yeah.
little bundles, was actually very dry. So
Oh,
it
good.
burned quite well.
Wow.
So anyway, headed home, loaded up the coolers, packed up the Suburban. Carly had the kids ready to go. I had packed the trailer the night before, hooked up the tent trailer, and we skedaddled,
yeah.
got out of town, and went back to Creekside Campground.
What your favorite?
This
Yeah.
place has been amazing, not only
And a
because of
staple in your
the,
life.
Yeah.
the fact that it took us legitimately 25 minutes from my door to the campsite.
That's quick.
Super fast, quick drive. We were in the mountains. As soon as we parked, kids took off running, and my kids needed it.
Yeah.
They spent their first week on virtual online school. Internet died 4 or 5 times a day.
Oof.
They were on their Chromebooks. Hadley was getting really bad anxiety because every time it would die, she would start to get teared up because she thought she was missing something. So Friday was a very hard day for her.
Sure.
So much needed to get there and have her run to the rope swing to just ride the rope swing. So
Yeah.
took a little video of the campsite.
Nice.
So as you guys can see, the Ragnarok and the trailer there.
Oh, need some neighbors.
Had some neighbors right there. This was
That a
right
horse
at
trailer?
This was at this was at dusk. So
I was gonna
I
say,
had
it
to
looks
use a
pretty dark.
brightener on my phone to try and get this up. But
Wow, beautiful.
it was a fun little. It's 10 sites. Like I said, this is a lady's backyard. That's her little woodshed. That's the community fire pit there.
So you're just staying in somebody's backyard.
Literally, yeah. It's
Wow.
10 campsites, so there's all these
Chilling.
people. Then she's got that pavilion built over there on the right-hand side. Then farther back into the trees is where the rope swing is and the other swings and tetherball and stuff like that. That's the bathrooms there to the left. And then straight ahead behind the Suburban there is a trail to the creek and a little swimming hole. So really great little spot. And as you can see, fully nestled in the mountains.
And how was the smoke there?
So
Looked
here's
smoky,
Hadley and
but not as
Augie
bad.
getting on the rope swing. And we pulled Augie back and counted out
Away
and
he
let him
goes.
go. And
That
these
must be
kids,
a heavy rope. Look how much dirt
yeah,
is kicking
These
up.
kids just lived on this swing for the entire weekend. This is everything that they wanted to do. So it was nice, but we spent 2 nights. So we spent Friday night and Saturday night there. and we left on Sunday
Nice.
afternoon. But this was everything that these kids wanted. They had the creek. They played in the creek. We brought Watson with us. It was needed, especially like the fact that it's so close for us. Carly and I were kind of joking. We're like, it's still kind of expensive. It was $60 for the weekend for the site. Mm-hmm. Then we probably spent about $150 in groceries to pack and go. And then, thankfully gas was $1.30. I only used a quarter of a tank up and back with the Suburban towing the trailer. So it wasn't bad, but it's just, you look at all those things and it's like, it's still a $200 weekend basically.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. So, but like I said, those two, they needed it to just get out, hang out, chill out. We didn't have, any service. There were some kids there, so they played played games and did stuff. And Carly and I got to hang out and just chill out in the evenings and talk. And it was good. We needed that. Came home on Saturday or Sunday afternoon, mowed the lawn, got everything, fixed up. The kids found a hammock upstairs. So drilled some holes in the posts in our backyard that I have that are holding some sunshades because the Dothraki Pleasure Tent was destroyed in the last storm that we had. So now what I have are just sunshades, like sun sails hanging to the house attached to 2 4x4 posts. So I have 2 sails and 3 posts.
Wow.
So in between one of the posts, the kids wanted to hang a hammock. So did that, drilled out some spots, set up a hammock for the kids to play in. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because I was going to ride to work today, but there's all that smoke in the air. Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where I was like, but it's starting to clear out.
Longer than you have to.
Today it's starting to clear out. So I'm hoping that it goes away tonight and hopefully tomorrow. Yeah. But all in all, it was a very simple, easy, quiet weekend. Now, this weekend, I'm virtually going to be appearing at the Gloss University event.
Wow.
Right.
At
Congratulations.
Ring Brothers.
For people who don't know about that, tell them about it.
So Gloss University is kind of the brainchild between Kilmer and David Patterson. So Jason Kilmer and David Patterson did some trainings this year in Europe. And we had me and him and Jason and Aaron Knox, 4 of us had been talking about how we could make this work in other areas and how we could create kind of a multi-purpose training that encompasses all the different brands.
Sure.
And basically how we get our friends together to host some training events.
Yeah.
Now, back in January when we were talking about this, we were talking about how we could make this work at Waxstock, how we could make this work at other events. COVID hit, kind of put a kibosh on all this. Yeah. So David decided to hold the first one at Ring Brothers, just a few minutes away from Lake Country.
If you're going to hold it anywhere, that's a pretty cool place to do it.
Really neat shop. And put it out there, invited everybody that is going to be a instructor, those of us that are there to do part of the lesson. And it's a 2-day event. Really cool setup. And he sold out. Of the folks in the head count for folks to attend. And it is a paid training.
Needless to say, there's interest.
So really, really cool. And Gloss University, the goal of it is we are going to be hosting events all over the world with this. We're going to try and keep it the same core group of guys that are going to be providing this event. And so one of the biggest things about it is we're going to try and do it. We will have an event here at the Rag Company, probably in the spring next year.
Yeah, love that.
We want to try and do one at Waxstock next year. And we want to do a couple in Europe as well. Mm-hmm. And then we want to do them all over. There'll probably be one in Atlanta over at Noxie's. There's probably going to be, even in the UK, not only Waxstock, but even the G-Technic HQ has talked about hosting a Gloss University event at the training center in the UK. Oh. So we are trying to we've got a lot of different plans on how we want to do this, but this weekend is the very first one. So those of you that are going to be going, I envy you. We were going to be there. And actually, Anthony and Dane and Jeff and I were talking about all the 4 of us headed out there. But
this was many months ago.
When everything
heavy.
But Idaho is seeing a spike in cases. We're still stuck in phase 4, probably for the next 2-3 weeks. Yeah. And Mama Hennen has put the kibosh on travel.
You come back, you're going in the pen.
Yeah. So so we had to step away and say, sorry, guys. But we are still sponsoring the event. The guys that are attending all get a little pack of towels, as well as we have a couple raffle items that we're going to be giving out, a couple gold kits, and then we have they're going to be using towels for the whole event. So Rag Company stuff. So excited to be still a part of that. So those of you that are attending, awesome. Those of you that want to attend in the future, please stay tuned.
Yes.
Next year we're planning on doing a lot of stuff. So
Wow.
that'll be
Look
cool.
forward to
But all in all, that was my weekend. Very simple, very easy. I still have to unpack the trailer. I didn't unpack it the last 2 days, so I do need to open it
Yeah.
up. I got everything else unpacked that was in the Suburban, and the Suburban is filthy inside. I
get,
washed
like,
it the other night, but
Kind of
it's-
ashy outside.
No,
still,
it's
or-
just there was no ash. It was fine up
Okay.
there. It was just dusky. But the Suburban is just full of dog hair,
Oh well.
sand and gravel and dirt from the kids.
Yeah.
And it's just dirty. Like there's food that they ate on the way up and snacks.
Naturally.
We went and got ice cream in Idaho City.
Wow.
Oh, we went to that sarsaparilla place. The
Sarsaparilla.
sarsaparilla ice cream shop. Holy cow. Carly and I looked at each other and I was like, we are never going to financially recover from this because we just realized it's a easy day trip to just cruise up and get ice cream
It's
on
too
a
close for
Saturday.
comfort.
It's too close for comfort. That
Yeah.
ice cream, I don't know. It's Cascade. It's Cascade Creamery ice cream, which I haven't had in other places, but holy cow, that was some good ice cream that we had.
You are
But
the
we-
aficionado.
Yeah,
so.
but while we were there, we went up to, I don't know if you guys ever been to the Idaho City Pioneer Cemetery.
I have, yes.
That is a cool cemetery.
It is a cool cemetery, yeah.
It's literally a cemetery on a mountain in the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah.
And when I say it's in the woods, it's in the woods.
It's pretty cool. That they
It's
did that
pretty wild
way.
to go like, oh, that's a giant ponderosa pine on top of a gravestone.
Yep.
If you
like-
listen closely, you can still hear the banjos.
and the nightmarish screams.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems like a very haunted graveyard.
It is.
Well, maybe don't hang
But
out
it's
there too long.
but it was crazy to see people buried from like 1860s and 1880s and stuff there, which is pretty wild. So, but that was my first time being there, and Carly and I wanted to check it out. The kids complained the whole time. We kept telling them, stop complaining or we're going home.
Well, they just didn't want to get haunted.
Yeah.
Well, because typically a soul like that would try to obviously find something that was weaker. So typically a child is something that
True,
it could
you're not
manifest in.
wrong.
And
These
so
are all
those
viable,
very real
viable,
things.
real
So you
options.
probably should have listened to them.
Well, little did you
Probably.
realize that
But,
actually
point was we
they got
bribed them
Watson.
with ice cream.
Oh, good.
And everything was fine. So headed
Word off
back
spirits
home, and but went back to the campsite, spent another evening there, had no problems, and then headed home. So all in all, fun little weekend, little adventure. Got to see some spooky stuff, and Augie said that he'd like to live there if it was closer to his house.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very nice.
He
of him.
definitely got haunted.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, yeah.
So
There's-
how's the property going? How's the new
Hey,
new land?
Thanks for asking. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and we're going to kind of deter a little bit. We're going to we're talking about that truck for a little bit.
Oh,
Right?
Yes.
that's right.
Let's talk
so
about
my-
it.
You've been
my-
storing this on the property.
My 2001 Dodge Ram 1500, right?
lovely.
Crew cab, right? Is some would
It's got
say.
the V10.
Sorry, no V8 5.2 Magnum.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Much
It's an
better.
extended
Nice-
cab.
nice
They're not
engine.
full.
You know,
four
the way I
doors.
see it, the more reliable, right?
Yeah.
But still having that V8 power when you need it.
True.
So, anyway, getting into this, right? As you know, that last week, right? The last time I gave you guys an update, it was a non-running truck, right? I
Right.
had taken
You
it
had been
to-
waiting for it.
I had been
You
quite a
dropped it
while.
off, and 2 weeks later, you got it back.
Yeah, I took it to Gabe's guy, right? Quote
Yeah.
unquote, his guy.
just a guy.
And let's just say there's a lot of uncertainty there, right?
True.
Because I have no idea who this guy was. I had no contact. or
Apparently, he's
interaction with
also
him.
an experienced Jaguar mechanic.
Yeah, apparently. And,
I have a shop I'm already planning on going to if
Okay.
anything happens.
Meineke. So
No.
basically, I had no contact with him, so I'd just been hounding Gabe.
Right.
Hey,
He wasn't
Gabe,
answering your
Gabe,
phone calls.
when am I getting my truck back?
Yeah,
What's
you thought
going
it
on?
was stolen.
I need this thing, right? I'm in the middle of moving. I still need this. I'm clearing out my old house.
Now, to be
And-
fair, I offered you green bean many
and,
times.
And to be fair, everybody had actually stepped up to the plate with some type of solution. Some
We
type
either
of
offered our time,
trucking-
ourselves with a
trucking
vehicle,
truck
or an
bed
individual
solution, which was
vehicle.
fantastic, and I really appreciate everybody's help there. But let's just say that I put all my eggs into this truck basket, and I've been really waiting on it.
Into this
So-
truck bed.
I was gonna
truck
say it's a
bed,
bed.
as some people would say. And so, waiting. You know, I was really getting on Gabe. I'm like, Gabe, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable about all this. When am I getting this truck back? What's going on? And Gabe's like, don't worry, it's all going to work its way out. Well, eventually, right? Last week, I think it was the last Wednesday is what it was. He called and said, yep, it's ready. You can come pick it up. So me and Gabe went together, right? I went and got my truck, paid the man, and you know what? Nice guy. His name's Mike. Super, super cool. I could get why it took so long because he is one of those laid back kind of guys, but he does really good work. And you can tell he's a wealth of information. And I could tell by the way his shop was set out, right? It was not a perfectly clean shop. It was cluttered, but I could tell it was cluttered because he's one of those guys that even in the clutter, he knows where every single tool is, right? He's one of those people that works through that kind of stuff. And so met him, super awesome guy, and he explained to me how, and he was very thorough about how everything's working. He explained to me why the AC wasn't working. He got the whole water pump, the whole thermostat, and the whole belt fixed and kind of sorted out. And I got to, let's just say, that was the longest time I was able to look at the truck. I looked at the truck in his shop for longer than I had even looked at it. Besides that,
right? You literally they dropped it off at your house. You put it on a tow truck and took it to that guy's shop and dropped it off.
That was as long as I looked at it. So it was kind of cool being able to see the truck up and running, right? And start fiddling with switches and seeing what worked and what didn't work. And all in all, though, Gabe put me in the right direction. I gotta say,
you were just extremely impatient, but also he was kind of ghosting you for a while.
Hats off to Gabe. I think he pulled through. I would like to give him some praise on giving me a good mechanic for a very affordable price.
Yeah.
So all in all,
this doesn't come lightly.
I think all of that. I mean, I'll just say it. All of that cost about it was a little over $300, right? Yeah. For all of that, and that's parts and labor, right?
Holy
which is a
cow.
pretty good deal considering it's a free truck.
That guy hooked me up.
So, got to give a shout out because he did an awesome job, and I think the reference, that Gabe gave me was well worth it, even though it took a couple weeks, right? And it was cutting the wire, but it was.
Well, it sounds like even in that whole period of time, it wasn't like he was actually working on it until the last few days where he got the part and then did it. So it was just sitting before that. Correct, so really, it could have. But
he's the kind of guy that next time you could buy some parts.
Yeah.
And
then just drop it off and go, hey, man, here's all the parts.
Pay you for your time.
Put those on, get them all squared away, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that would absolutely, speed things up. And so next time I go to him, that's probably what I will do, but I will use him again. I think that he was a good reference. So going back to that, I had a smooth running machine, right? Semi-smooth. I did shift it into four-wheel drive to see if that worked. That didn't really go as planned. Let's just say that I think that there was some seized U-joints in the front, right, that weren't spinning the right way.
Yeah, they probably hadn't been turned on in a while.
And broke those free, right? Oh. And I think that once I did that, I think it also broke some much-needed bushings within that as well. So while, yes, it can go into four-wheel drive, I don't think I'll be doing it again until I go through some of that
front
stuff.
Axle checked out.
And I don't even know if it's got diff fluid in it, to be honest. So that's another thing to check out. So Friday, though, right, I had I'd shilled this idea to the team. I said, hey, you let me clean this interior. I'll film it, right? I'll film it the way I want to do it. We'll make a video on it because it is one of the worst interiors I've seen in recent in person.
This is proper disaster detail.
Oh, what's the difference, Levi?
Well, let me put it this way to you, Dane. We had vinyl
I'm asking
seats.
as the audience.
We had vinyl seats. We had vinyl floor. We had a truck that was dirty but had the capacity to look really good when it was done.
Yeah.
Now, you guys all saw that video of the little Ford Sport Track that we tried to wash.
Yeah.
That was hard. That truck had the potential.
That was the power washer
leather seats,
video.
Vinyl floor, really good. We could have made that come out a lot better.
Yeah.
However, the exterior of that Sport Track was very rough and would need a lot of work that we didn't have the time to put into.
You were overheard in that video saying, "Oh my God, we need to get the razor blades."
Yeah. So that was not a properly designed, and we had kind of wasted our energy cleaning the interior to get 50-50 shots. So we couldn't actually go back in because once we started cleaning, we were like, well, let's just keep going. We didn't. But
it's a 50-50. It was
great for that. But we didn't turn the cameras on. We kind of wasted our window.
That was photo stuff,
so to speak. But your truck, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, I mean, just kind of because basically we filmed this video, right? It was a day long. We did a POV GoPro view. We did a couple main cams. We did some beauty shots. And it was a transformation. It was. I think, long story short, it looked like a good truck on the inside. By the time I was done with it, it took a whole days of work, and we took a lot of tools, an entire trash can full of towels, but it cleaned up, and I think everybody was so blown away and amazed when they saw the truck afterwards that they're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is a truly a transformation that was worth documenting. So that video is currently being edited by yours truly.
What?
I am editing that
we're making
video.
them edit it.
So they want me to edit it because they want to see if they'll have any luck getting more views. And I have no idea how that'll go. So anyway,
I love this.
but so I'm editing the
I think
video.
it was a challenge for your job, actually. I think,
was
if
it?
I
It was
remember, I
basically
think
like
Gabe said,
Anthony does a lot of things around here, but you know what he doesn't do anymore is edit videos. Let's make him edit a video.
yeah. And then I
because-
think Anthony said, I can do that standing on my head. And then Gabe said, do you want to bet your job on it?
Yeah,
and then
Gabe-
Anthony said, you're on my job for your job.
Yeah.
Gabe took his
And-
cockiness and turned it around on us.
So
Yeah.
if you
I killed it, yeah.
if you don't get it edited, you don't get to work here anymore.
Correct,
And
yeah.
if you edit it all and get it finished, Gabe doesn't get to work here.
He goes
anymore.
back to teaching.
He goes back to teaching,
Wow.
I guess.
Wow, do we
I
need
think
to,
that's
like,
how it works.
Put a Forerunner picture over the
I'm
Civic
pretty
or
sure that's how
something,
that
or-
works.
Yeah,
So,
so
I mean,
look
high
out.
stakes to
is-
get
it
this
is-
video.
it is-
So
it
please
is high
watch
stakes, yeah.
and see if this video gets completed.
Yes, please
So-
watch. Tell your friends to watch. When this video comes out, you will know. Share it with everybody.
Yeah,
We need to have Anthony keep his job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We like Anthony. We want to keep him around.
We'll see what
It's really
happens.
if it doesn't work out, it's on you.
It's your guys' fault, not Anthony's fault.
So,
No, it's not his fault.
but I'm editing that. I don't know when it's going to be done. I honestly,
I think it's supposed to be done Wednesday.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not.
That's not going to happen because I also do everything else here. That
Wow.
involves
everything Instagram. That's for sure.
Well,
as the,
and
as
everything,
the media
product
marketing,
testing,
as the
product
manager of the
testing,
marketing and
and-
media department,
and
I think is what it is, right? That's your title.
I don't know what I do. Because I don't really have. I haven't given myself a title, and I don't really know how that
I
works
think you
here.
have a title. You
I-
gave yourself many titles.
No, I've never given myself a title.
he does officially have a title.
My,
He just
you know what
doesn't
my,
even
my
know it.
description says on my email? It says sales and media marketing. But I have not given myself a manager name. I haven't given myself a director name.
Really?
I haven't given myself a specialist name.
Well,
I am
as the creative director of the Rag Company and the brand development manager of the Rag
Oh, wow.
Company, I'm going to say, as your bosses,
Wow.
because we have manager and director
Okay.
in our titles.
Thank you. Yeah.
We think you could use a media marketing manager
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, so I don't know about that. So
We'll have to talk to the. We'll run it up
We'll
as
have
the
to see.
as the third strongest in strength in terms of lifting capacity of the Rag Company.
if he
I think
doesn't-
that's something I could run up the chain.
If he doesn't manage media and marketing, then I don't know what you would say.
But I mean,
he really
I mean,
does.
I
it.
manage.
does, yeah.
I do manage the media and
You
marketing.
did have
I,
employees under you.
I
you
do-
You had some employees under you.
I am the product video person. I am in the videos,
Oh,
right?
so am I.
Yeah, I mean,
but
that's
we
a
also
split duty.
do the detailing.
Yeah, I
we
do
also
that
do
as
the
well.
product testing.
Yeah, I do
right?
that as
and
well.
also do the customer service.
I do that as well.
Right, and so we also do.
You might say because you both detail in some
future
capacity,
future
that's where
product
your
ideas,
experience
Yeah,
right?
we do that.
Also,
I do that as well.
Develop products,
True,
as well.
that is me as well.
We also have the business meetings, right?
Yep.
We also have to talk about pricing. We
Business
also have
stuff.
to talk about
Yeah.
normal business stuff,
Yeah.
logistics on things
Yeah,
like that.
we do a lot of
Then
that.
we have to build relationships, right?
I do
so we
most
have to
of that.
build
Yeah.
relationships with people,
Yeah.
right? And so, and then from there. We still have to clean the bathrooms, and we still have to do our laundry, and we still, have, to
do all
Now,
that.
do a little
To
bit
put
of
that in context, the cleaning involved is sanitizing all the door handles and touch points inside buildings for COVID-related reasons.
I wipe
and then
down- I
when it
wipe
comes
down
to
the
the
toilet.
laundry, that might sound weird. Maybe at your job you don't deal with laundry unless you work in a laundromat or something. But in this case, it's literally
it's the towels that we use
the
for
towels
the videos
that we
and
use for
stuff.
detail. So if you detail with it, just wash it.
But regardless, I'm going to try to edit a video to see if I can figure out how to do this thing. So
I like it.
So going back,
I like
to
how
what-
he pretends not to know how to edit a video.
So going back to what I was saying, on Saturday, right? Since I was so wrecked from
Right.
all these
All the-
months and weeks of just
all the work that you've been putting into the
yeah.
business,
strenuous
as well as the detail
activity.
you had to do, and moving
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah.
So my body was pretty wrecked, right?
Yeah.
And so
you moved your family to new land.
Yeah. So Katie got me a massage, right?
Oh,
which I
very
was
nice.
pretty pumped about.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a massage in probably a year and a half or however long it's been. And so she got me a massage at Two Rivers, right?
Oh, snap. That's a fancy joint.
Which I have never even heard of Two Rivers, nor have I ever been to Two Rivers before.
Is it in Two Rivers?
I don't know what it is, but basically it's
Two Rivers is a very fancy subdivision.
It sounds hoity-toity.
It's a very hoity-toity spa. It's a day spa, right?
Very nice.
So I go in there and I'm wearing basketball shorts, a t-shirt. I'm looking
your normal Anthony.
I'm just
So what he's
attire.
saying is he's blending
his
in.
Saturday attire.
He really
But
he fits
I
the aesthetic.
walk into this thing and they greet me and they say, "Sir, do you have an appointment here?" And I say,
"Sir, are you
I
lost?"
think I do. It's under Anthony." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you are right this way, right?" And then they said, "Would you like to go grab a glass of water over the bar?" And I said,
"Oh, they have a bar?"
Sure. So I walk over and I said, "Yeah, I just want to grab a glass of water."
They sell Diet Pepsi.
And then he says,
PepsiCo
"What
products.
kind of water would you like?" And there's different types of water.
Yum.
And he said, "Would you like the strawberry lemon infused water? Would you like the lemongrass and
gotta
I
be
believe it was
cucumber at some
lemongrass
point.
and cucumber water?"
yeah.
And then he was like, "Would you like?" It was one other a raspberry pineapple water, or would you like normal water? And I said, "I think I'm feeling a little crazy, so I might go with the lemon strawberry water."
Okay. Yeah.
Look at
Delicious, by the way. It was amazing. But yeah, went in, got my massage. Pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. I actually just talked the whole time. I'm not.
You're not supposed to talk. You're supposed to just close your eyes and
know.
relax.
Was the
but-
masseuse taken aback by the fact you were just chatting the whole time?
She was pretty young, but she was kind of hip with it, and so I was
Okay.
just kind of dropping some slang, and she was telling me, she's like, "Yeah, I got an 11-year-old son, and he plays Call of Duty, and he's using
course.
slang words like bet and yeet and all sorts of stuff." And I said, "I know about those words."
You said we work with
I
a kid
too
named
know you,
Jimmy,
young person.
who
Yeah.
also speaks in that type of.
I too am young, and
I can hear Jimmy cringing out there right now.
So I was dropping some pretty cool words, and I was like, "It really do be like that sometimes, though." And
You bet.
yeah,
does
bet,
stuff.
yeah. And so we hit it off. That was a great time.
Nice.
Left there, and the rest of the day, man, because the air quality was pretty bad. I still wanted to get a bunch of stuff done, so I continued working on organizing garage stuff. I feel like I clean up a mess, but a new mess is made.
Right.
Yeah,
and I don't
correct.
know how it keeps happening, but it just does. But did that. I'm trying to fix my lawn because the water went out on my new house for a week and a half,
Right.
and that sucked. And
Killed
so,
all that new grass.
Killed all that new grass. So I'm trying to bring it back in some way, shape, or form. But it was overall, I would say, Saturday I was trying to relax the most I could, basically.
Yeah.
I was kind of feeling like I've pushed myself a lot. And so, I'm trying to think other than that. My lawnmower, right? My Braden lawnmower, I explained that.
Yeah, beautiful, gorgeous Honda lawnmower.
I'd
Was
smashed-
that a
nicest.
190?
I'd smashed the front. It is
Is
a
it
190.
GCV 190? GCV 190? I got a
yeah.
GCV 180. I love. Beautiful, great little machine.
So, but I explained that I broke the front axle
Right,
on that,
you
right?
did,
Because I put it into a moving truck, and that
Yeah,
wasn't
you cambered
ideal.
the front end.
So that sucked.
Ka-chow.
So I had to mow my lawn like that, and I ordered the new part. It was like
Yeah.
20-something bucks, right? Found out it's back ordered because of COVID until the end of November when I don't need to mow my lawn. So I took a hammer and I started banging that thing out more.
You bent that wheel back.
I was gonna say, because front axle on a lawnmower, not nearly as
all-wheel drive.
complicated as front
It's
axle.
an all-wheel drive. I don't know if you know.
No, it's
car.
rear-wheel drive. No, it's not as complicated, right? But I can't believe
Basically, just RC car level
you would
complicated.
think the metal would bend easier. It doesn't. I don't know what the hell they used, but I'm sitting there
Did you
with...
break the wheel?
No, I didn't break the wheel. I took the wheel off to bang.
Okay,
Are the
good.
wheels
Bang the-
rubber or plastic or what are
They're
they?
plastic with a rubber
plastic with
tire.
rubber, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They got some an aggressive tread pattern for sure.
Well, you need that for all-terrain
They're made by
capability.
Falcon.
Look
is what
out.
they were, but
And then they will wear out very quickly.
yeah. And so then Sunday I set up some patio furniture, did some more stuff around the house. I've just kind of slowly been working on just random things. I need to find a new desk, because mine broke in half when I was trying to move it, and that sucked. But it's one of those things where it's like I feel like I'm kind of getting settled, but things are still not anywhere put together, organized.
Yeah.
And I'm also trying to be really cognizant of how much money I'm spending.
Right, because it's easy to just
it-
buy all this stuff right now.
It adds up, and
Yeah.
I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my god, it just one thing after another. And I haven't even done the garage flooring. I haven't done the TV in the garage yet. I got the mount, but I just haven't gotten the TV yet. And we're still just trying to, there's just stuff from the construction process that's still there, right? All of our window trimming that we did. I still have about 16 boards, 16 20-foot long boards in my garage. That was leftover product for baseboards and for trim. No idea what to do with. But I think it's worth some money. So I might sell that. But I'm also trying to sell some other stuff, hawk some stuff, get rid of junk. And so I don't know if you need any hardware for your house, doorknobs potentially.
No, I have new doorknobs.
Okay,
in my house.
Dane, any doorknobs?
I already have new doorknobs in my place, too.
Okay, well, if anybody else needs any doorknobs, let me know. And other than that, though, I've been driving the truck. It's been awesome.
You kind of been enjoying it, haven't you?
I have been enjoying it. It's kind of nice. It's so crappy, but at the same time, it's hard for me to look at the exterior of the truck, that single-stage paint job, and how chalky it is.
Yeah, it's like if you guys wondering, it was a Forest Service truck, and it was green.
Yeah, it was
and
like a lion,
really
like a
lousy respray.
Pistachio green.
It was pistachio.
And
green.
then,
you guys know the
and
color.
then
It's like seafoam pistachio.
Yeah, and then it's a single stage silver Mako paint job.
Yeah.
From
It's
probably
like
15
Tin
years
Man
ago.
spec, like
From like
face
10,
paint.
15. Yeah, it's like 15 years ago. So it's very dull and dingy.
Well, it needs to be, honestly, it probably just needs to be sanded and polished. But I did a test spot when we were here that one day, and it improved the area for sure. But now that test spot is so noticeable that from even 100 feet away, I'm like, ooh, what's that
Shay,
on?
what'd you do there?
What's that? That needs to match. So, but I also popped a few dents out on that truck.
Good.
I got a dent puller.
Well, you had the gear, didn't you?
Yeah, I have like a PD, like a very crappy basic PDR kit.
You've done the Civic a few
and
times.
it works. It works. It's very frustrating because it's a glue kit is what it is.
Right.
And you just never know what's going to happen. So did that, banged a few dents out from the bed, which I didn't know. You can just get underneath the truck, right?
Yeah, hammer it
with
out.
a hammer,
Yeah.
and bang those things out.
You look for the gap in
So I just did that, got that all done up. And then yesterday I got the truck registered, got everything there.
Nice.
So now there's one other opportunity that's presented itself. I'm going to kind of end it on before I end on this.
Tint the windows.
Right.
So Katie's grandma, right? She's like 80-something years old. She lives down in Arizona. She leased a Nissan Sentra, right, in 2017. Right?
So it was new then.
Yeah.
New 2017 Nissan Sentra. I know nothing about it. I don't know what trim level it is. I don't know.
Color is it?
I have no idea.
Oh.
So basically, she leased this vehicle, and she'd had it for a couple of years. She lives in a retirement home, and her lease has ended. Now, the Nissan gave her buyout option with her buyout price, right? So they said you can buy out this 2017 Nissan Sentra for $9,000. Right? Pretty good. And the typical allotment of miles that you have for a lease is, I think it's 10 to 12,000 miles a year, right? So upon return of this vehicle, it should have 30 to 36,000 miles, right? This Nissan Sentra has 4,000 miles.
Oh.
So
it's basically a new car.
It's a $9,000 car with 4,000 miles.
It's a $9,000 car with 4,000 miles. And so Katie's dad said, hey, do you guys want this thing? And I said, I don't really want it. But then we looked up some values of it. And depending on the trim, this Nissan Sentra is worth anywhere from $10,000 to $16,000. Right? I just have no idea what trim level it is. And so basically,
is that trade-in or is that private value?
It's, I think, trade-in still. I think trade-in's like $12,000, and I think that 12
Still
to
not
14.
bad.
I think private's like 12 to 16, right? And so my thought initially was that could be an easy couple $1,000 if we buy this vehicle, right? And I clean it, I get it I get it looking showroom ready.
Get it looking like a 4,000 mile car.
And I flip it, right? And then, we make a couple grand on it. That was one of my ideas, but I just don't know what the value of that car truly is, because what I don't want to do is find out it is the most basic.
Yeah, it's a 5-speed roll-up doors.
Actually,
up
that would
windows.
be more attractive these days to some people. But I mean, when it comes to like the Sentra and some of the smaller Nissans, it's hard because Nissan went through kind of a rough patch with the transmissions and all this different stuff. So you definitely got to be wary of that kind of stuff. But with the way the used market is behaving right now, there's some weirdness. There's a ton of lots out there who are just desperate to have used cars, not like ancient used cars, but something like that is an extremely attractive proposition to a lot of dealerships actually right now. And we're in a unique situation where I don't know how long that's going to last, but right now they're low in inventory for used vehicles for customers coming to their lots. It's a great time to be doing that.
So my thought,
If it was me, I would do it.
is if it's a,
It could almost be like a certified pre-owned.
well, if it's the lowest base trim model, right,
True.
it's really only worth 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go through the trouble of doing all
Right.
that
Right.
just to make less than $1,000, probably all said and done. I want to at least make like a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
Is it located not in Idaho then? Is it
it's in Arizona.
Arizona?
right?
Okay,
And
so you would have to transport it.
So, well, her dad lives in Arizona, and her dad's actually coming here on Thursday.
Bringing
He
it.
would drive the car here, right, and
So
he would
that-
fly back
that's
home.
solved.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that would be solved, and I just have no idea.
So you'll see it on Thursday. You'll figure out what it is.
They have to have an answer tomorrow of who's buying it.
So
what
take
the
some
plan is.
Can
pictures.
she take some pictures or share info
So,
with you
well,
somehow?
he's gonna take some pictures, right? He's gonna give me more information. He is planning on buying it in cash if we want it, and then what we do is we pay him back once we sell it,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And that could work out pretty well.
Yeah, no.
I just have to figure out what it's worth.
Yeah.
And but I think 4,000 miles. I think anybody could clean up a car like that,
Yeah.
get it looking new. I'll polish it up. I'll throw a coating. I'll throw C2 V3 on it. I'll
Yeah.
get it to where it's
Yeah.
super glossy. Then my thought is too, right? Now I have a car that I can sell. I have a truck that I could potentially sell after I clean up, right? Even if I wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could take that car, I could take that truck, sell them privately, trade it in, a trade-in deal,
Yeah.
and get something nicer.
Yeah.
Oh
you
no,
could.
that's a really good opportunity right there, and it's a unique situation, especially with the transport already being solved.
Well, the fact that you don't have to put any money into this car
yeah,
Yeah.
until after
that
you sell
is
it. That's a really great deal.
honestly, even if it's $2,000 or more,
Yeah.
I would take that opportunity.
I would too.
As long as it's more than a grand potential out of it, that's worth it. For
thanks,
the amount
Dane.
of trouble that you put into it,
Yeah.
that's going to be worth it.
So we will see.
I'd be very
But 4,000
curious.
miles.
Send me pictures when
Yeah,
you get
that's
them. 'cause
crazy.
I mean,
I could
tires
probably
are good.
tell you.
I don't even think the oil probably have been changed.
It probably
But,
hasn't been.
you know,
Yeah.
but whatever. Change,
should probably be done.
change oil. I'll rotate the tires myself. I'll get it cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I think that it would make for a pretty easy flip. So
Yeah.
I'll find more information about it, and we'll kind of go from there. But that's all I got.
If it's black, silver, or white, those are going to be the popular colors that'll definitely sell quickly.
I'm just hoping there's not an old lady color. There's not like a beige, is
a
there?
beige.
Because if there's a beige, I might be.
No.
I might
No
be,
idea.
They
You have
had
to start
like a lot
Googling
of kind of like burgundy reds,
17
and stuff like
Sentras or
that,
whatever it is.
but, yeah,
There's nothing.
a lot of silver,
there's-
a lot of
there's-
white.
There's nothing that puts me off more than like a burgundy red. I'm not a burgundy red guy. I know
He
a lot.
says while he's wearing this shirt and
Yeah,
hat.
he
that are-
got a shirt and hat that's in burgundy.
That's pretty.
What are you trying to say?
Basically, the car
Said
is
you're
like
not
a
a burgundy
metallic
red
version
kind
of
of
what
guy,
you're
but then you're wearing that color.
No, I like it in I like it in clothing. But
Oh,
I
so there's a
I'm
distinction.
just not. I'm not the burgundy red kind of vehicle owner, but I could be
Oh.
after like tomorrow. So
You never know.
I'm going to tell you right now, it will be worth it. It
all right,
will.
Dane.
So
Well.
we'll hold you to
Dane
that. But
sold
yeah.
more cars than either of us combined.
Yeah, but I
He's
ate
made
it
more
on
money in the
Mazda
car
for
market
sure.
than
I
either
don't
of
think
us combined.
he has made more money in the car market.
Actually, with the Jag, I'm fine, and with a couple of my other cars, totally fine. It was
Yeah.
just that particular bad decision to buy the Sport Track and then going down
No,
that
the-
hole.
the-
well,
the
the
good-
Sport Track traded
no,
for the Montero,
the,
and then it just
the good
the
decision was
rain.
buying the Sport Track. The bad decision was selling the Sport Track.
I cannot emphasize how boring that car was to drive. I didn't want to have
You
a
could have
boring
lifted it.
car in my driveway.
You could have put some. That was one of the fun things.
Ugh.
I told Anthony this. Augie, while we were at the campsite, there was 2 Suburbans, same body style as ours, but they were charcoal gray. They were stock height with just stock wheels and
Yeah.
tires, right? With road tires.
Yeah.
Augie looks at me and he goes, "Those 2 trucks look the same." And I said, "They are. Do you know what they are?" He goes, "I think they're Suburbans." And I said, "They are." And he goes, "They just look, those don't look like ours. They look boring compared to ours." And I said,
Yep. Yep.
"That's my boy. That's my boy right
He's
there.
figuring it out early.
He knows
That's great.
exactly what is a boring vehicle compared
A little a little wizardry, and you
You
got
know,
yourself something
it's nice
pretty
to
cool
think
out of
that.
something
Yeah.
otherwise ordinary.
Yep.
So
He's making his way along the world.
Making my way downtown, walking fast. The pace is something.
Get
fast.
tuning.
I'm
All right,
homebound.
so
All right.
I think we've established that. But wow, that was a fun little adventure. We already clipped an
That was
hour.
great, guys. Yeah.
So yeah. Any rate, anything to add before we go here?
That's it.
No, just keep watching YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Keep checking out our podcast. Keep listening to the FAQs. Checking those out. Like, we appreciate everybody doing this stuff. Those of you that got mystery bags,
Yes.
rag bag, swag bags, post them.
Pop in the discussion
seeing
group.
them on the
Talk about it.
discussion group. Everybody posting their pictures of the rag bags on there.
Share it in
So,
other groups too, so
yeah.
people know that we actually
Yeah.
did it. Because I've seen questions
What?
where people are like,
Share them.
"Are
Show
you
the
going to do
pictures.
that again?" Like people are like, "I looked and they weren't on the
Yeah,
site." And
it
it's
was
like,
neat to
it was
see.
limited time.
I want to see
so.
if somebody who got the big packs.
I think I saw somebody got a pretty hefty.
There's some pretty good ones on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
So-
liking all the Woes products that were in a lot
Yeah.
of them. They're excited to finally get to use.
Well, they
some
like
of
that
them.
interior mint too. That
Yep.
white mint. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff in there. So.
Very cool.
At any rate, I want to throw it out there before we go, just because I haven't mentioned it in a while. The audio platforms. Make sure you're looking. If you listen to us like you're on the road, you do a commute, something like that, check out Spotify, check out Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts at. Listen to us that way. It doesn't always just have to be YouTube, although we certainly appreciate it. If you watch the show, you get some extra content out of that too, such as home videos there and pictures of my awful yard. But any rate, you get that, and it's pretty fun. But I just want to make sure that people are subscribing and following to the audio platforms so that they always get updates when something new comes out. So we really appreciate that, and I just wanted to make sure, throw that out there. Now, otherwise, as long as you're subscribed here, we're happy. We're going to keep doing this, and really, really look forward to Anthony's video. I've seen some clips of it, and it's good stuff, guys.
Pretty hot.
It's really good stuff.
Is it?
So, any rate, till next time, this is us saying adios.
See ya.
See ya.